Welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Catherine. Yes, feel free to share where you are on this magnificent planet. If you are watching someplace other than Insight Timer, I invite you to join us on Insight Timer. It's a free app. We can't see your comments otherwise, unfortunately. Hi, Haley. Excuse me. Hi, Keith. Hi, Judy. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Camille. Hi, Dara. Hi, Gary. Oh, it's so good to be together. So good. Hi, Joan. Hi, John. Beautiful. Welcome, everyone. How is our sound? Can you hear me well, clearly? Oh, let's do this. That should have adjusted our sound to make it even more optimal. How's the sound now? Oh, great to see everyone. Sound good? Okay, great. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Welcome. For those I'm getting the pleasure of meeting for the first time today, my name is Selena. I know some of you are joining from the self belief challenge we have. Some of you have probably just popped in because you saw the live. Some of you have been here with me for years and years. So, a very warm welcome to everyone. It is such a gift that we have Insight Timer to bring us together. Truly, truly. So, great gratitude to Insight Timer for creating this space so we can be together, so that we can remember our center, what it feels like to have a taste of peace or a taste of the being of love that we are, or to be able to lean into compassion or forgiveness or greater self awareness. It's so easy in our lives to be so focused on everything outside or all of the internalized challenges that we're working through. And we forget that there's this exquisite center within us that we can always return to. So, having spaces like Insight Timer, whether it's the lives together or the content we can listen to, it's such a gift to return home, to remember. And I'm so grateful to each of you who chooses to come and be part of these spaces that we create together, because that is exactly it. We create it together. Your love, your presence, even if you never comment in the chat and you just come and hang out, your presence is part of what creates this beautiful container. No matter what emotional state you're in, no matter how much of the shadow you might be facing or how much darkness or heaviness you might be feeling, you may consider that you are a being of light. It is your nature, your essence, your presence is this eternal self that can never be marred by the comings and the goings of this human experience. Yes, our light can become covered, yet it can never change the light that you are to go through these challenges. And although you may have heard this idea that you are so much more than your body, your mind, and your emotions. You may have also had tastes of experience, of a knowingness that you are more. Maybe it's a moment when you're in nature and you feel yourself disappearing or even merging with the sounds of the wind or the sense of the trees or the earth beneath your feet or the ocean waves. Maybe you've had the gift of looking into the eyes of someone who you love, or maybe someone you're just meeting, and something happens inside of you, a dissolving, an expansion, a remembrance. Or maybe you've experienced this playing music, or dancing, or meditating. We are so much more than the limited mind can comprehend. I'll share one more thing and then we'll move into some experiences together. So, my exquisite parents are both teachers here on the app. One is Sandy Magrum, my mama, and Jonas Magrum is my dad. I'll drop their names in the chat here. They both lead lives each week. Excuse me, Sandy on Thursdays, Jonas on Fridays. And I've been a deep feeler my entire life. It's almost an understatement. Everything from being deeply empathic to having deep access to emotions inside of me and experiencing the world around me. And probably a little flair for the dramatic. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Deep feeler. And my mom, who is an incredible teacher, so full of wisdom and love and compassion, she shared this teaching with me early on. I was probably, I don't know what I was experiencing, but I was going through some kind of pain or heartache or challenge. And my mom gave me this image of a big, bright yellow sun. Like just imagining like a big, circular, bright yellow or orange sun, however you'd like to imagine it. And it's so bright and it's just pure radiant energy. And then on this magnificent sun, there's one teeny weeny little dot. So you have the magnificence of this big circle of light, right? We're just visualizing this two-dimensionally, maybe. And then there's one tiny dot. If I had my paper and pen here, I'd draw it for you. And what happens is we are that magnificent sun of light. That is who we are. It is our nature. It's the fullness of who we are. And when we experience a challenge, a heartache, a problem, it's like a tiny little teeny weeny dot on the magnificence of that sun. But what we do is we become so tunnel visioned on that dot that we forget the rest. We go in so close up on that dot that that's all we see. We don't see the magnificence of who we are. We don't see all of the gifts in our lives, the blessings in our lives, how much good fortune we have to even have a body that moves or food in our refrigerator or to be able to breathe. We become so focused on that little black dot. So I'm sharing that with this to remind us that, yes, we go through so much in this human experience. Some experiences are more severe than others. And for many of us, what happens is we become so hyper focused, so tunnel vision focused on the things that aren't working or that we wish were different, that we forget the magnificence, the magnitude of who we truly are. And this isn't to say that we Spiritually bypass. What does spiritually bypass mean? Many of you are very familiar with this term. For some, it's a new term. Spiritually bypassing is this behavior, this way of being that says, oh, I feel all of this pain in here, but I'm just going to say some positive affirmations. Or maybe it looks like, oh, I feel so uncomfortable inside. But you know what? Everything is light and love and grace and positive vibes only. It's the covering up, it's the repression of the pain, of the shadow without integrating it. And when we don't integrate the shadow, when we don't bring that darkness into the heart so that it can find its way back into the light, then we're just covering it up. And it becomes like this little festering monster inside of us. Maybe some of you even have had that experience where when you start to face a deep pain inside or something you might call the shadow, at first it might seem so gross and disgusting and scary and awful to face this thing inside of us. But the closer we get to it and the more we sit with it, it changes and it changes. And this monster inside of us starts to morph and it becomes a version of us, maybe even a version of us as a child, in pain, tender, vulnerable, who has been protected by this monster. But deep down, it was always the tenderness of us. So we can be with it all. We can be with that tiny little black dot, that tiny little speck on the brightness of who we are. We can be with that. We can meet it with compassion. And we can also practice remembering. And sometimes the remembering is helpful in community, spaces like this. Sometimes, with all of the pain that we experience in our lives that is happening in the world around us, it's very difficult to access the remembrance of who we really are. So, to have places like this is invaluable. So, again, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new to our time together, I have over 100 recordings here on the app. Many of them are on the free side of the app. I also have two courses. One is called Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life, and the other is called Awaken My Heart, a Guide to Living with Self Love. I lead these lives on the app regularly. And if you'd like to tune in to more of what's happening in my world, you can check out the link on the About section on my profile. And I also lead retreats, a couple of which are listed on the app right now. So you're welcome to check those out. And you're always welcome to send me a direct message if you have any questions that haven't been answered in your exploration on the app. All right. Let's take a moment. Let's drop in together. Excuse me. We'll start today with a technique that many of you are familiar with. It's an ancient yogic technique that helps to bring us into a sense of greater balance, groundedness, and centeredness. And we call it the centering technique. I've been studying with my beloved spiritual teacher, Her Holiness Saima, for over 24 years. And that is where I learned this technique. So bring the palms to touch the heart. Let's roll. Actually, we're going to start with something different today, and then we'll move into the centering technique. So, this is from a fascinating body of work. I'll bring a guest teacher on sometime to share more of this with our community. But it's this more profound awareness of our anatomy and how it connects to our emotional bodies and even our chakras. I won't go into the whole teaching of it today, but I'll give us a little experience. So we have these ligaments on the heart called the heart, we call them the heart strings, or that's how they're called in this body of work. And when there are things happening with the heart, when there's a sense of pain or grief or needing to protect. It's like there's this shortening of these heartstrings and there's this pulling in the body. And although this is a natural part of our healing sometimes to be more protective, many of us end up living like this even when we'd rather not be. It becomes an unconscious behavior, especially on our phones. Our whole bodies are changing to be in this more contracted state. So, this is just a little something we'll do to kind of open things up before we move into our centering technique and our meditation experience together today. If you can't move your body, you can always visualize this and use the power of your breath to create an experience inside. So I don't fully, let's see, I can kind of like maneuver my body here a little bit. We're going to open the arms out nice and wide, really reach the fingers out, have a nice open chest if you can. And then we're just going to lean over to the right, really lean and reach. And then lean over to the left. Let's do this one more time on each side and we'll take a breath. So inhale, lean over to the right. And then exhale, really reach and lean over to the left. Okay, great. And now keep the arms out. And we're going to turn the thumbs down so that the shoulders start to roll forward. So thumbs are turning down. We can feel how this kind of creates more of a compact experience here on the chest. And now we're going to roll the palms up to the sky so that the thumbs start to turn back like this. So we're really opening the shoulders now. Now we have this really nice, open, expansive posture in the chest. Keep the palms up to the sky, and then we'll just relax the arms down and just notice how that feels through the clavicle, the rib cage. You might even notice it emotionally. Something might have shifted. And now we'll move into the centering technique. Ah, palms touch at the heart. Let's sit tall. Again, if you can't move your body, you can visualize this. Inhale slowly, reach your right hand all the way up through center while the bottom hand comes down by the navel. All of the fingers point up toward the sky. And then we exhale really slowly, move your hands slowly to bring them back to your heart center where the palms touch. Nice and slow. Inhale, left hand up, right hand by navel. Reach that arm straight up if possible. Exhale really slowly. Take your time. This is a lovely way to help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, that relaxation response. Inhale, right hand up, left hand by navel. And exhale slowly. Take your time. Feel the palms and the fingers touching. Breathe slowly and deeply. Let's place one hand on the heart, the other hand on the belly. If the eyes are still open, I invite you to close them if that's comfortable, or just have the gaze relaxed, looking down. Sometimes we feel so much discomfort inside of us that we can't even name what we're feeling. Sometimes our emotions just feel like a pool of muddy water, or we just feel like we want to get out of our skin. It feels so uncomfortable inside. Sometimes it's just an internal sensation of maybe buzzing or jitteriness. We might call it anxiety. Sometimes it might be an actual stronger physical sensation like heaviness in the heart or tightness in the throat or the belly. What we can consider is that these physical sensations are showing us our emotional experience inside. And many of us were never taught how to really be with our emotions. Don't feel mad, be happy. Don't feel sad, it's okay, stop crying, be happy. Don't feel afraid, it's gonna be okay. Oh, don't feel ashamed or let anyone see that you feel embarrassed. Better hide that one. Yet emotion is the driving force in almost every single human being. We know so little about the emotions or how to be with them, or at least many of us were raised that way. So today we'll practice being with this inner world from a place of curiosity and maybe even kindness and compassion. You're welcome to continue to hold the heart and the belly if that feels good, or you can just relax the hands down. What if there are no bad or wrong emotions? What if all emotions are like this spectrum of experience and every single one of them, including fear and shame and rage, they are all okay? They're all part of being human. So I invite you right now to allow any discomfort or emotion to come to the surface. This might be very uncomfortable. And of course, if at any time it feels too uncomfortable, you're welcome to take a pause from the practice, take some breaths, just allow whatever emotional discomfort or pain that may be inside of you to come to the surface. And maybe you just place your hand on your heart for a moment and say, it's okay to feel. There's nothing wrong with these emotions, even though they're uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with me for feeling this way. And if you don't have any uncomfortable emotion arising today, maybe you just hold this kind presence as a practice for when you might have felt these feelings in the past. Again, say to yourself, it's okay to feel. It's okay. I allow myself to feel whatever's coming up right now, just for now. You might find that in your life, if this kind of discomfort arises, you have an escape route. Maybe you exercise or eat or call a friend or watch TV, or maybe you start working more. Right now, being able to just be with this discomfort is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And now become aware of the place inside of you where there is the strongest sense of discomfort. Maybe it's in your heart, or your neck and shoulders, or your belly. Although you may not be able to name the emotion that is here, can you sense that there is part of you inside that is upset or having a difficult time? This feeling you're carrying inside of you is part of you. Maybe this is a part of you that feels so angry about something, or lost and scared, or sad, or maybe all of these emotions. And you find this part of you inside who's carrying this pain or this discomfort. You might see a version of yourself, or it might just be a feeling inside that you sense. Without trying to change this part of you or to make it go away, ask this part of you, what's going on? And give this part of you that's in pain total permission to just express itself fully. Maybe in your mind, this part of you just has so much to say, or it needs to cry or scream. Allow this part of you to be fully expressed without judging it, without making it quiet or different. For these next moments, just listen as this part of you really expresses itself fully. It's okay to cry, it's okay to feel. Remember to breathe. Give this part of you permission to say everything it needs to say, to feel what it needs to feel without being judged for it. And you're just there to listen with an open mind and an open heart, to be there for this part of you without abandoning yourself, without judging yourself. And now ask this part of you, What do you need from me? What do you need from me? And again, just listen with an open mind and an open heart. This part of you might say things like, I need you to not be so hard on me. I need you to accept me. I need you to let me play more and enjoy my life. I need you to spend time with people. I need you to spend more time alone. I need you to let me rest. I need you to be more kind with me. Thank this part of you. Thank this part of you for the courage that it takes to express, the courage that it takes to feel, to face discomfort or pain. Be so grateful to this part of you. And now, if there's anything that you wish to express to this part of you, speak from your heart. Anything that you wish to say. So often we abandon ourselves for somebody else's approval or to get to where we think we need to be or to be who we think we're supposed to be. We end up leaving ourselves behind, abandoning ourselves, not caring for ourselves. So, what is it like right now to really be there for yourself? And again, thank this part of you in whatever way feels good. Maybe you embrace yourself or bow to yourself or offer a smile from your heart. Take a deep breath. Recall what this part of you said it was needing from you: kindness, rest, play, whatever it was. And for these next few minutes, we will imagine giving ourselves what we need, as if it's already the way you live your life, not someday or if you change. But imagine living your life, giving yourself what you need, as if it's already the truth of your life. If it's more rest, imagine yourself feeling so relaxed and rested and getting the nourishment that you need. If it's more time with others, imagine yourself spending time with people who uplift you and inspire you, who you feel loved and cared for by. You don't need to be concerned about the how of any of these things. Simply see it as if it is your life. Feel how good it feels to live a life of giving yourself what you need. Do you feel relaxed, joyful, grateful? Maybe even allow a gentle smile on your face, smiling at yourself. So grateful for all of the ways that you are showing up for you. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. Sigh on the exhale. Again, offer gratitude to yourself. Slowly bring one or both hands to your heart and slowly massage some gentle circles on the heart. Being so kind with yourself. You may feel like you're in a very tender or vulnerable space. This is natural after we've taken this time to really be with ourselves. If you wish, inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Open your chest, open your throat, and slowly bring the hands back down. Maybe hold your cheeks for a moment in this really loving gesture. Just gently hold your cheeks with the kind of tenderness that you would hold a baby. And then slowly bring your hands down to your heart, hold your heart, and just gently say to yourself, either out loud or in your mind, thank you. I love you. I accept you just as you are. Thank you. I love you. I accept you just as you are. I'll take one more deep breath in and out. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the belly, And whenever you feel ready to, open the eyes. Mm. Thank you. Ah, thank you. Mm. How are you with yourself in this moment? How are you with your heart, your tenderness, with the shadow, the light? How are you? Hi, enemy. I love you. Camellia shares, I feel optimistic, free, and loved. I am thankful and blessed for this life experience with all my adventures and dramas. Yes, beautiful. Jodianne shares, that was a refreshing outlook, an awakening for me. Bless you. Oh, beautiful, love. Beautiful. I'm so glad. Anami shares, Selena, do you happen to have a track comparable to today's practice? Yes, yes. Thank you for asking, my love. I absolutely do. And I imagine you've done it before. So, for anyone who wishes to revisit this, I have a meditation here on the app called Self Soothe Emotional Healing, or maybe it's called Self Soothing Emotional Healing. And there are two versions. There's one version with music, which I personally prefer because it helps me go deeper into the emotion. There's also a version without music for those who prefer a no music experience. Pauline shares so deeply connected, more peaceful. This is so beautiful. A million thanks. So beautiful, Pauline. I'm so glad. And I love the way you're sharing here because this for me is like the simplicity and the beauty of it. You feel deeply connected to yourself. When we are distracting ourselves from feeling or sitting with the pain or the shadow, however we like to think of it, when we distract ourselves or we're just busy over here, or we don't take time to come back and sit with the pain and discomfort, we feel disconnected. And this, for so many of us, is the root of depression and anxiety and feeling like something's wrong with our lives. Is simply that we're just feeling disconnected from ourselves. And by going into the pain and meeting ourselves there, we feel connected again, like Pauline shares. And then from that more connected state, we do feel more peaceful. We do feel the beauty of life, the presence, the grace of life. Now, it may not always feel that way each time we do this kind of practice. Sometimes we're left with the rawness of being with the things that we've been ignoring or covering up. Sometimes we're in that integration or that going deeper and deeper, meeting ourselves. It's all a journey, though, that can bring us home to ourselves where we do feel more connected. As shared, this was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I have just been learning about the pain body, so this was right on time. Lovely, lovely. Diana shares, thank you, dear Selena. Join for some moments. Every minute is special gift with your own nourishing lives. Beautiful, my love. And as I just mentioned for Animi, for anyone who wasn't here for the whole practice or you'd like to revisit it, I do have a couple of recordings on the app. The practice is called Self Soothing Emotional Healing. Gigi shares, the imagery of the sun and the black dot was an awakening for me. Ah, awesome. Yes. Very powerful. We get so tunnel vision focused on these specks of challenges. And the challenges might not feel like specks, they might feel monumental. However, in the big picture, they are still very tiny compared to the magnificence of your being, the radiance of who you are. And for anyone who needs the kind of a loving reminder, I have another track called Everything Will Be Okay. And it's a reminder that as lost as we might feel, as much pain as we might feel like we're in, we always find a way. We always have and we always will. We always find a way. Isn't that true, my beloveds? That every time you've been in an experience that felt devastating or painful, or you didn't know how you were going to get out of it, haven't you always found a way? Haven't you always found a way to make it through, or to create something new, or to return to yourself, or to find a way through the pain? You always find a way. Barbara shares such a beautiful meditation. I felt softening and comfort to just be beautiful. Oh, that's great. Yana's asking to share a card of the tracks. Let me see if they've updated this. No, unfortunately, you have to upload the tracks before the event, before the live. And because I didn't upload them, they're not available for me to share. Apologies for that. But both of the meditations that I just mentioned, or the tracks that I just mentioned, they are both yeah, they're both very heavily listened to. So if you go to my profile page and you go to the tracks section, they're probably in the first 10 meditations, maybe the first 15 that you'll find there. So you don't have to go through like over 100 to find them. They'll be at the top. Yeah, great. Great. I'm so grateful to be together. And for those of you who are in the 10 days self belief challenge, well, not everyone is part of that challenge. It's on the subscriber section of the app. And the meditation that I led for yesterday in this 10-day challenge was an introduction to the inner critic. And one thing that I spoke of in the meditation is how the inner critic is not who we are, but rather a program or a mechanism inside of us. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with the inner critic, it's that very harsh or judgmental voice, or for some people, it's not a voice they hear, but it's a feeling inside of them. And I shared how we could consider that although it doesn't feel this way, that one of the primary roles, if not the primary role of the inner critic, is that it's actually a protector. It comes in, and although it seems totally backwards, right? It's like, how is a voice that tells me I'm a horrible person protecting me? How is a voice that tells me I'm not good enough protecting me? How is a voice that tells me I'll never make it or have my dreams fulfilled? How the heck can that be a protection? And we could consider that voice is trying to keep us from experiencing pain that we felt in the past. Maybe we put ourselves out there and shared our romantic feelings with someone and we felt rejected. And it was so painful that this part of the psyche said, "We're never doing that again. You just got to, think you're not even good enough, because then you won't try. You'll never do that again. If I tell you you're not good enough to be loved, if I tell you you're too ugly or too this or too that, then you won't have to put yourself out there again." It's so backwards, but it's how this kind of primitive part of the psyche develops. Now, I was thinking about all of the ways that the inner critic shows up. And of course, it's a much bigger and more, I don't know if vast is the right word, but it's a deeper topic than just protector, not protectors. It's deeper, and many times the inner critic even mimics the voice of a parental figure or a primary caregiver, like a parent or a grandparent or a mentor who, came with this more strict or uh, reprimand reprimanding kind of voice. Sometimes it's that kind of uh, internalized voice of an upset parent or a protective parent. Aside from the way that the inner critic shows up as a protector, I was also recognizing how the inner critic can also show up as the expression of this part of us that's in pain. Many of you have heard me share the personal story of this time that I walked into the bathroom and I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and immediately this thought popped up and it said, "You're so ugly." And I just put my hand on my heart. It was just a natural response. Put my hand on my heart and I said, "Oh," I said, "my sweetheart, you must be in a lot of pain to be having a thought like that. What's going on? What's the matter?" And this voice inside, there was this tension inside of me. It's like, "You're so ugly." It just started to soften. And it was like, "Well, I feel this and I feel that and I feel this." It was this really upset, hurting part of me. So I was also recognizing how that's also in the inner critic is showing up. It's part of us in pain that's longing to be cared for, to be held, to be seen, and it doesn't know how to get our attention. It's like a child who lashes out because they just don't have the emotional maturity to know what they need or to know how to ask for what they need. So I'm saying all of that to just acknowledge those of you who are in the challenge and grateful to be in this experience together. And also just to kind of bring us all into this awareness of how we can be more compassionate and understanding of this part of us, this part of the psyche. Sashi is asking for the name of the meditations. Yes, great love. So the first one is self soothing, emotional healing. This is the one that we did today. And the other one that I spoke about, everything will be okay. Yeah, is the second one. Great. Hi, Jesse. On my site. What's your question, love? Both of those are here on the app. You can find them on my profile page under the tracks, and they're both free tracks. Is that your question? Hi, Tracy. Tracy shares, thank you for your love, care, wisdom, and vulnerability. You are a gift to yourself, to us, and to the planet. Thank you, my love. As are you. For anyone who's unfamiliar with Tracy McCree, Tracy is such a beautiful lover of all and teacher here on the app. And I highly recommend checking out her loving presence and work. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for your donation. Okay, great, Jesse. Glad that addressed your question. Great. Let's do that together. Yeah? Let's take a deep breath in. Let out some sound as you exhale. And again, inhale. Man, just let it go. Just let it go. If you're looking for some daily loving reminders, both Insight Timer and I have pretty active Instagram pages. So if you'd like to be connected there for just some loving reminders, that's a great place to be connected. And again, I have two courses here on the app. I have so much content. You can find my schedule for the live sessions on my profile page under the events section. I also have a couple of retreats listed. You can find out more about those. The next one where there is space is in Bali in May of 2026. We had a retreat there this year and just really life transforming. That was one of the most, I think the yeah, just one of the most touching things for me about this last retreat there is every person shared, except for one of our dear ones who spent the second half of the retreat physically unwell. But everyone else shared Selena, this retreat literally changed my life. I mean, my heart just gushes. I feel tears in my eyes. Like, what a profound honor to sit with you in your transformation, to love you in your transformation. You are your greatest guide and your greatest healer. So it's my joy to love you and to be with you in the path of the remembrance of who you are. And that's what the retreat in Bali is. The title of it is Divine Remembrance. And it will be a week in this luxury, gorgeous hotel retreat center surrounded by the rice fields and the trees in the heart of Bali. And a week to just remember our essence, remember who we are. Rebecca, I can't actually share that here, but you can just look up my name. It's under my name, Selena Leal. Keith shares that challenge is right on time for me. Was so happy to see you there. Thank you. Peace, love, and gratitude. Awesome, Keith. I'm so glad. Grateful to be there with you. Christina shares on another note, where did you get your mauve flower on Flower of Life t-shirt? Well, speaking of Bali, a little incentive to come to Bali. That's where I got it. I got it in Bali. There's a lot of this there, a lot of divine remembrance, a lot of joy and play, as Tracy would say, a water slide as well. Tracy and I were there together this year, and she's coming back again, and lots of incredible clothing. Bamboo, so soft, all natural, supports local designers, flower of life, repping the local merch. Mhm. Beautiful. Anything you wish to share, my beloveds, before we complete today? I'm so grateful for you. I'm so, so grateful. So grateful for this time together. And so grateful for all of the different ways we get to be together, the different events and retreats, getting to be connected online. Anything you wish to share with me before we complete? Hi, Isis. Long time. Hi, Angela. And for anyone who I didn't get to say hi to because I didn't see your comments or you didn't say hi, just hi, hi, hi. Thank you for being here. I am no longer in Hawaii, Isis. Oh, yes. Tracy shares so life and soul changing to be on retreat together. Yes, yes. Pauline shares, thank you for going live. Thank you for being part of this challenge. It was so good to see and hear you. Oh, thank you, love. Thank you as well. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Let's just take a few breaths together. We're all connected in this quantum field. We're all one. And in the realm of duality, we're still connected quantumly. And that doesn't just mean people who meditate or people who think like you or behave like you. Everybody. We are connected to everybody. And when we come together in these spaces of compassion and kindness and upliftment, it's like we create this richer, fuller, stronger field of love, of peace. So let's just imagine now this beautiful web of light all around the planet. And not just around the planet, but it's like this web that reaches through the planet. And this web is made of this beautiful liquid light. Maybe you see it as golden or pink. We can welcome the power of the violet consuming flame into this web as well. And it just becomes this sphere of light all around the planet and completely engulfing the planet all the way through Mother Earth's core, so that all beings, all on this planet, everything on this planet is uplifted in this light, is uplifted in our love. May all remember who they are. May all remember that we are connected, we are one. May all know peace, may all know safety, may all have food and clean water, may all be loved. May we remember, and may the flame of remembrance within each of us light the flames in others. So much of the world is trying to divide us, the ego consciousness trying to divide us, to create division through beliefs and values and behaviors. Let us be the bridge of light. There's that beautiful quote. I can't remember it verbatim, but essentially, the way to alchemize a soulless world is to remind everyone of the sacred within them. That's paraphrasing. But the way to alchemize a soulless world is to remind everyone of the sacred within them. Treat everyone as the sacred within them. May we remember. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, Davina. Thank you, Rebecca. Happy to see you, Zis. Welcome back. All my love to you, always. Thank you. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Blessings to all. Ah, what a gift to be alive together, to be on the planet together. I love you so. See you soon.